Hi, and welcome along to DR Sports. We're here with another round table talk. You know the drill. Round table talk. We got Nicky from West Ham Fan TV, big West Ham fan. Matisse, who does brilliant work for Chelsea online, and Doyle, who kills it for Liverpool online as well. And of course, me representing Arsenal. The question on this round table talk, you know, we always put the questions that you want answered, is can David Moyes handle the big players, Nicky? The question is directed at you. West Ham, they've gone out, you've been complaining, and a lot of West Ham fans have been complaining over the years about a lack of spend, and you've been right as well, by the way. It's not a criticism, you've been right because you've not really spent money. But this summer, a lot of money has been spent on quality players. Cornet, Scamacca, Paqueta, but still the team's not performing. And the reason why I'm asking this question, it was a West Ham fan I was talking to the other day, and he goes, Robbie, I don't know if Moyes is like an underdog manager. Like when he's sort of got the players that the expectations are low, he can squeeze the best out of them, you know, like your Dawsons and people like that, and you know, he can squeeze it. But when he's now got the big names now, the proper Paqueta,
talented
you know,
footballers,
Scamacca now,
yeah.
He don't know what to do. Now, I'm not a West Ham fan. I ain't been watching it week in, week out. I watched the Everton game the other day. I have to say I was very disappointed in West Ham considering the players they have.
I think the players are starting to lose faith with him, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I don't think they've got the belief that they had in him in the last two seasons, and that's just because we were underdogs. We've overperformed with the players that we had, and you know we had all the excuses last year when we started to sort of falter towards the end of the season. We haven't got a big enough squad, and you know he's only got this to work with, isn't it? So there's always excuses for Moyes, and I was one of them. And up to a couple of weeks ago, I said that you know he's got a lot of credit in the bank, Moyes, for what he's done for us for the last two seasons. But when you bring in quality like that, and you're playing bad, and you're 1-0 down at Everton and you're on 70 minutes and you're £50 million striker still sitting on a bench, you've got to start asking questions and say, like, what is he doing? You know, it's not like we've ripped up everything, you know, in the weeks before, and you know we've been winning games and he's just been loyal to the side. He's being loyal to players that don't deserve it at the moment. You know, you've got to, when you get into these winning mentalities, these winning teams, if you're out of form, you should be out the side. If there's someone sitting there that's waiting to take your spot, Bowen is badly out of form. He's been absolutely awful this season. He should have been out the side. Like Son. You see what happened to Son at the weekend, got left out the side, had a point to prove. But these players are knowing Souček, badly out of form. Soufal, badly out of form. There's a lot of players like that. Antonio isn't scoring goals. So, you know, why would you look at that? And the existing players like Rice, are not quite on the same level this season. And I think he's looking around thinking, you know, what is going on? We've bought all these players and get them in. You know, we need to change the style of play.
Quality players you bought,
they're
because
good players.
When I saw your business, I was like, Paqueta, listen, a lot of clubs were interested in. My club, Arsenal, was showing a lot of interest in him. You got him. Cornet, he was brilliant last year at Burnley, and I thought you got him for a steal as well, because I was surprised that many other clubs didn't go for him because he's a talented player.
Yeah, good goal
and of course, Scamacca, who was banging in the goals in Italy, full international for Italy. I know players have to sort of assimilate in, but I've just been surprised at how little they've been used.
When you go to Everton on Saturday, who let's be fair, they're an awful side. They're terrible. They're a terrible side. He's building back from the back. Lampard, you know, they was leaking goals like nothing. They brought in Tarkowski, Cody, who was shored up that back. But going forward, they're still not quite there. And who made the difference? Onana and Mopai. And we've got our big signing sitting on the bench. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it just, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you're losing and you're still playing the same players, get him out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Moyes, when he was at Everton, you know, he was a Liverpool fan, you would have known. He'd done a great job, but again, he was the underdog there.
Yeah.
Then we went to Man United, you're no longer the underdog, you've got the big names. It didn't really work out for him. I don't know if I'm being too harsh on him because it's still early in the season, and it is still a thing that you've got to have that balance of you brought in new players and looking after the guys that were so successful for you last year.
Yeah.
But
You don't want to
quite
upset
right
anybody, do you? You don't want to upset the team balance already with the squad that done so well for them. But you got to look at it, right? So when you apply for a job, what do? You look at experience of what they've done all previously, don't you? And if you look at Moyes' previous experience, it's been at clubs like Everton, where they've had, all he knows is how to make an organised, structured club that knows how to play that type of football. He doesn't know how to push it beyond that level to win things, and that's okay. You need different managers to do different things, but that's what's happening, I think, right now when you get all these talented footballers that are coming to West Ham. He doesn't quite know how to elevate their level, because you can only teach them a certain amount of football. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's happening essentially with him, and that's why his players are losing belief in him. That's why people like Rice are going, I'm an exceptional footballer and you've brought in talent that I can work with, but it's not working right now, and the only thing I can look at is you, because you're structuring this and you're organising us to play.
There's also the fact Saeed Benrahma has been by far our best player this year.
He's brilliant.
By far.
Hit the post the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, he
And
did.
he's been benched a few times.
And he's the one that Moyes has obviously got a problem with him. And I think it's this defensive work. And that's all he wants to do. He wants to defend. You've got all these expressive players, Cornet, Paqueta, all these players that can actually play in the final third. And he's picking players based on their defensive work. Benrahma's going to be looking around. He's been by far our best player. And he's looking at Bowen that at the moment can't hit a barn door of a banjo. And he's sitting there thinking, well, why am I being left out of the side when he's out of form? Fornalzi's not particularly playing well. And I think the other players around him are thinking, well, he's the one that's he's given us the chances.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's putting him onto the bench to be loyal to these other players that do the defensive dog work. We're past the defensive dog work stage. We now are we can be a good attacking side.
That's what
we paid the money for.
And
I think that the board are starting to lose patience with him.
Matisse, when you look on that team, right? Yeah. I was looking at West Ham the other day and I'm like, there's at least 5 players in that West Ham team I'd have.
Yeah.
Arsenal, 5.
Yeah, in the squad.
At least. Over the years, you haven't said things like that, right? No. But at least. And I just think, I just look at the team, 1 to 11, I'm like, that's a bloody good team, man. Yeah. That should be a team, really, that the minimum they should be looking at this season is the Europa League.
Absolutely.
Places. Minimum.
Yeah.
But do you think, Moyes, do you think it's just that these players now are no longer that's not really his MO, in them type of, Paqueta and having loads of these sort of creative players. That's not really what...
He's a Tim Cahill kind of guy. He's a Fellaini kind of guy. Slump it into the box kind of guy. But when you start putting, the flicks and tricks and the technical ability around him, he's like, whoa, hold on a second, I didn't sign up for this. They don't even look like Moyes players that he's brought in.
But he's brought them in.
He has, but it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And you look at the way Moyes.
Do you think actually on that? Sorry to cut you there. Do you reckon he's brought those players in, or do you reckon that's the board? Like, we want some sexy signings. So
they wouldn't have bought them in.
Huh?
They cost too much money for them. That's true.
So you think they're more?
He's been very selective and picky, hasn't he, with who he brings in?
Waited nearly 2 years to buy a striker.
For a striker, exactly. And then you bring in Scamacca and then you don't use him. This is a player that was wanted by PSG. So. It's not making sense. I personally don't feel like he's able to kick them on, like Doyle said. I don't think he's able to take them to that next level. West Ham are beyond the defensive setup, hard to beat. Now they can actually strive for better and they reached the semi-finals of Europa League. So there's a lot to do. I can understand the loyalty to Moyes to an extent because that was an amazing, journey. But and there's managers like Poch I'm just saying. Poch.
It's transitional time for them. It's transition time. They want to do better. They want to play in Europe. They've got a taste of it, lad. And these are the players that they've bought to do so. And if Moyes can't take them there, they'll find somebody else that can. And I think it's what Robbie said. It's just not his MMO. It's not what he does. He takes teams, structures them, gives them an organisation, makes them stable, but he doesn't push them on.
I think what's frustrating me at the moment, 2 good seasons, you've got a few good managers flying around. I don't think Poch or Tuchel or anyone like that would look at us.
Why?
Tuchel's terrible.
I just don't
think
you missed that dig there.
I heard him.
I Tuchel look at you, he's terrible.
But I wouldn't look at him either. But I think at the moment, with the players we've got, it's a waste of time. We're wasting time if we keep him. Because all that hard work that we've done in the last 2 seasons, go out this Conference League and then don't make Europe again. We're just back to being Southampton, and no, we are.
I get it.
What you say? Hold on, what are you saying?
We're back to being.
No, wait a minute. You said we're wasting time keeping him.
Yeah, I think so. I want him gone.
Oh,
Get someone in that can
Already?
Already.
I
It's not
agree.
already, Robbie.
I agree.
Right?
Who would you have
Because
then? Who would you
Hold
have,
on,
Nicky?
wait a minute. Wait, look what he done for you last year. He got
but I think
as a matter of fact, the last couple years,
ruthless,
right? He
mate.
got you.
You've
He
got
got
to be
you.
ruthless. I said he had
sound like you want to be Chelsea.
a lot of credit in the bank, right? But there are times when it's time to put over the last 2
But you're not giving him no credit.
Hold on. Over the last 2 seasons, yeah, go to the end of last season. Apart from the Europa League getting to the semi-final, we've won 2 games in 16.
Yeah, but you guys know he had that Europa League game final. He had a thin squad, as you said.
So fixed squad now.
Right.
So what's the excuse this year?
Yeah, but he's saying the season's
Gotta
just
give him more
started.
time.
Nicky. Come on, Nicky. It's
Nah,
season's
I'm
just
sorry.
started. So if you
want to
said
be
he's
one of
built
them
up
top
credit
teams-
in the bank over the last couple
He
of
has, but we are not Chelsea. We are not Arsenal. We are not Liverpool. We won't stay in and around. You know, a bad season for us isn't 7th. A bad season for us is 15th. A bad season for us now, unless we pull the trigger right now, yeah, we won't be looked at by the likes of Pochettino. You know, the likes of Pochettino and Tuchel. They won't be mentioned with us. We'll be back to being Southampton, to being Burnley, to being, you know.
So you'd
that
sack him
sort
now.
of thing. I would, yeah.
Who would you bring in?
An expressive manager. I'm not going to name names because I don't know.
Graham Potter would have been good.
Graham Potter would be brilliant.
PFF?
Sorry about that.
But so you sack him now, and we'll take him. but a good manager that can get the team to express itself. And I think the squad, as I said, I think they're losing patience with him. You can see it in the players' performances. They're thinking, he don't really. Once we get to this position, he don't really know what he's
Listen,
doing.
you're down there every week, right? I know you follow West Ham home and away, right? What's the vibe of the fans then? I'm kind of
Turning.
shocked. I'm kind of shocked.
Turning.
Huh?
Turning.
If you said a percentage of who would say would want him out,
I would say at the moment it's about 70-30.
70 wanting to stay.
But give it another 3 games. If we haven't picked up any more points, or we've picked up very few points, it'll be about
bit
50-50.
shocked at that.
It's a valid point though, he is right. While they're hot right now and while they're on top, they have to grab what they can get to the next level. And if they let themselves slip back down, the attraction is no longer there. They have a great project right now. They have lovely, talented players that have just come in. They have a fan base which is ready to support them and push them on to the next
We
level.
lose Rice
Massive,
at the end of
it's a
this
big
year.
project.
We lose.
Scamacca, Paqueta, do they want to be playing for a
if
team
we
that's out of
finish
Europe?
15th, 16th, Paqueta's going to go.
Tevez,
Scamacca's going to
Mascherano all
go.
over again, lads.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to strike while the iron's hot, and I think the players that are there that are starting to lose patience with him have got to see that there's a progressive mind in the boardroom.
Especially players like Rice.
So you won't give us a manager.
I couldn't.
Right? So you can't give us a manager. Give us a manager, Doyle, who can
That
take
would
over
go
there and do a
to.
better job.
Okay.
Sam Allardyce.
I can't think of one on the spot right now.
It's gotta be Poch for me.
think.
Gotta be Poch.
Pochettino.
Yeah,
Poch.
I've said it for weeks. I think Poch. I know.
Or
There's a bit of-
Tuchel, I think Tuchel.
No. Don't disrespect Tuchel. Don't disrespect Tuchel, Robbie. He's a Champions League winner, PSG manager. You know what I mean?
Do you know when you look at that Chelsea project, when you look at that West Ham project, I mean, they get like 55,000 every week.
Yeah.
Right. We know they're a massive club, right? They've got great players now. I mean, guys are just saying Rafa Benitez. What about him?
That's not the brand of football.
No,
that's
they
not
wanna
the brand of
progress, they
football.
need-
If
they
they
need-
want to be
yeah.
progressive, for me, Poch is perfect. Even though, the Tottenham link.
I don't think we particularly need to progress, but we can't regress.
Regress, but in terms of progress, you need like a progressive on the front
You need to
foot
go to
type
Europe
manager.
again this year.
Yeah,
You need
We
get
need
Europe
to be in
again.
Europe again this year.
That 7th
Okay.
place is not guaranteed. There's a lot of teams floating around for that. So they have to.
It's definitely Poch.
I think it's Poch
That's
for
who
me.
it is.
Okay, well, listen, guys, because I'm still in a bit of shock that Nicky said, he's been sitting next to Chelsea fans too long now.
I'm rubbing off on him. I'm rubbing off on him. Do you know what I
It
mean?
must be that trip he's telling me about going to Mexico. He's got ruthless. But I want to know hear from you guys. What do you think about the situation? Do we need to give David Moyes more time to settle in the players that he's got, or do you think that he can't handle these big players? And now he's done a great job, but for the progression of West Ham, need to bring somebody else in now to take them to the next level. Would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Subscribe here to DR, become a member here on DR Sports, and we'll see you on the next one.